Gonna dip in your hip and glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Sensitive, offensive content disclaimer. Please note that this podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes, such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects. Triggering content, including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues. Explicit language. Occasionally, our guest or host may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember, the show is not designed for exhibitions. Please use to find professional advice if you need qualified experts. And now your show. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. We made it through. Hey, it's the debut.
What's up?
What's up? What's the good word?
I love the disclaimer.
You like that? Well, we unfortunately, due to situations of the past, we've had to use the disclaimer now, and which is fine. You know,
Good
we do
God.
get that.
Yeah,
You like it?
yeah. I love it.
Let's introduce ourselves, brother. You're the host, bro.
My name is Sean Elliott. I'm with City Paranormal, but I'm glad, blessed, and honored to be a part of the R.I.F.T Nation to do this podcast. I need to get on more shows, so appreciate the love and having me a part of the show. I've watched the show, and I'm glad. I feel honored that you chose me to host this show with you. Hopefully, we're gonna lay it all on the line. So anybody watching, just know that we're gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be completely honest, in my opinion, based on my knowledge and experience and research. And you might not agree or like everything I say, but I'm gonna give it to you straight. So, but again, I'm Sean Elliott. I'm with Hill City Paranormal, and thanks for having me on here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. That's why I put you in the captain seat. I like to think I'm your Spock in this show to my Captain Kirk. And hello to everybody. Let me introduce myself for anybody that's tuning in new, and then will do what Rhonda does for me, and I will say hello to everybody. I am, of course, Ed Odell. Some know me as the Hitman, some Howie. That's okay. I'm also known as the Paranormal Mad Hatter. I'm a tech geek. I like to get my hands into a little bit of everything. I too have a lot of experience in the field, both historically, both equipment-wise, both in theory. I am the director coming from ASPS, All Seeing Paranormal Society. And to add to that top list, I'm, of course, the CEO of right here, this wonderful network, R.I.F.T Nation Network. And we're so thankful for all of you joining us here today. We're going to talk to y'all in just a second. I want to say a hello to Ronnie Eckert and Shayla. Both are in the house. Miss Linda Nelson's here. Carrie Lynn, hello. And thank you, Carrie, for sharing us out. And, of course, your better half, Courtney, in the house.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's up?
I'm glad to be here. I get to see people I don't get to normally see on here.
Yeah, well, we're going to see a lot more.
Outstanding.
I like the way you said what you said. It's based on our knowledge, our experience. And if you don't agree with something, we are open the gates to, your point of view. Don't think
That's
we're
right.
just going to say you're wrong. Sean and I are not going to always agree. And that's what makes life. We have an opinions like everybody has a butthole. So, let's make it work. That's what this whole show's about. We are going to bring you the ins and outs. And with saying that, I'm going to hand it back over to you, Capitan. Why are we doing this show, bro? Why are we doing this?
We're doing this show to, number one, be informative. There's a lot of people out there that just don't know. And I think that, there's people out there that know everything, so to speak, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know. And I think that there needs to be more open floor discussions about what is and what isn't, and what might be and what might not be. And I feel that knowing the history, knowing the truth about a lot of things may encourage, may discourage. I don't know. But I think that as we become investigators and as we grow in our field, the knowledge and the history and the facts is the key word. The facts is what's going to help the field grow. Growing the paranormal field is what we should all be doing as investigators. And I think that having more open floor discussions on a podcast platform will help grow the field, I think. If it pisses somebody off things that we say, then I think you're not a real investigator, in my opinion. I think being more open to knowing and growing will help you as an investigator. People said things I disagreed with, and I happened to go out and try something that I disagreed with and learn that, hey, that person was right. And it helped me grow as an investigator. So I think these conversations need to happen to grow the field of paranormal investigating. I don't know it all, but I do got over 20 years of experience. So I know some things. You've taught me things that, when I didn't know you. So, I mean, just short conversations, you learn a lot.
I think between the two of us, we have over 50 years of experience. That says just that. I also want to say that we're also bringing this show to many of the people who may not know where this equipment came from. Why are we using it in the field? What's its purpose? How is it put together? Why are we using it? I mean, these are things that people in the field are like, they go out and buy this stuff. They read the instructions, but they don't understand where it came from. They don't understand, what it was primary for or its primary purpose. So again, I support Sean in saying this is an educational program. That's why we've designed it the way we have, to bring you not just equipment, but bring you history, bring you theory, and bring your thoughts into this. As we all here at the Riff Nation, all of our shows are so open to this idea that we want to communicate via either social media or chat or your personal messaging by encouraging you to communicate, because communication is education. Boss man, let me read this. Courtney says, I'm here for the gossip portion of this. Ha ha. Now that's right. We've got to give props to props. Courtney helped us put the name of this show together. That's why it's called G3, Ghost, Gadgets, and Gossip. I mean, we're going to talk about some of the gossip, some of the not so good things in the paranormal. Oh, oops. We're going to talk about it. Yes, we are. And we're not going to mention names. We're way more professional than that. But there are things in the past that, people should know about, because not everybody was so good.
I might mention a few names.
Just don't get us in trouble with the law. Oh, there you go. Miss Lois Clark is in the house. Cha-ching. Hello, Lois. Boss man Ronnie jumps in here and says, just be true to the field. Don't fake your equipment works. Don't pretend something happened when it really didn't. Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things we're going to discuss is improper and proper uses in theory, in integrity, and in your equipment. Amen to that one. Courtney says, amen, Ronnie. She also says, oh no, someone calls the FCC in advance. Sean, we better get ready. Hence why we put out the disclaimer.
Now I
Ronnie
see.
yeah. Ronnie drops in, you can say my name. I really don't care. Hello, all here for the gossip also. I love that. So, I mean, really, when we started talking about doing this show, all these topics came up to play because neither one of us pull any punches. We may not say anything, but there is a lot of crap that's in the paranormal field.
Yes, indeed.
And we both agreed that no matter what, you can talk crap about us. You may not like us. But one thing's for sure, by the time we are done, and we'll never be done, is that you will respect us because we have the A game. We're going to bring you everything that you've asked for, you've been wanting to see, that shows said that they were going to do, that they never provided to you before. The equipment, the understanding, the responsibility. And we go quiet.
I was reading the comment.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I was reading.
You're good. You're good. Oh no, pulling punches. I'm in right place. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that in the paranormal field, I need to stop getting distracted with comments. But
I got you. You talk. I got this.
I was somebody got after me one time because they said that in a podcast that I don't address the comments enough or whatever. And look, I'm going to put this out there too, since we're being honest about everything. This is the gossip portion now. I'm going to address the gossip portion. If I don't comment to you or respond to you right away, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I'm trying to have a conversation and I'm trying to answer questions, or it's not because I'm intentionally ignoring somebody. Or if I speak to one person more than the other, look, we're grown. I'm sorry. So just being honest. I'm throwing it out there.
Well said, Sean. I mean, we can't get to every comment, but we promise we will try to get to every comment. If we do not verbally say it, we will at least try to put it up the screen so everybody sees you made a comment.
Thank you for adding that. Thank you for adding that, because I responded to that same gentleman who got after me in my inbox. I said, Courtney said, here we go. I said, hey, I acknowledge every comment you said by pulling it up on the screen. If we pull your comment up on the screen, we acknowledged it. I may not always verbally respond to every single thing, but trust me, we see it. So I wanted to bring that up now because I don't want to get any more inboxes at 2, 3 in the morning saying I didn't respond to you. I'm sorry.
And you know what? If you're going to inbox me with that, then you know what you're going to get from me. So,
yeah,
you're just going to get a wall. So I don't really care.
I'm nice about it now. This is my last time being nice about it. We'll put that out there too.
Oh, I like the way you just said that.
This is my last time being nice about it. So I'm addressing everybody.
Ronnie puts in there, when I do live streams, I comment that if I don't answer comments, it's because I'm not watching the phone. Well, yeah, and that's the difference. We're a podcast. We're on camera. We're seeing the comments. You see your own comments on the right, hence why we also put the comments out, so you're not ignored. I mean, that's what this is all about. But you know what? Sometimes if we get in-depth conversation, it may have to wait till our in-depth conversation because one of us may lose track.
Or just being honest, we might accidentally miss it. Like if we're having an intense conversation and their comments are flying, you might not get to every one of them. It happens. The podcast is, for us to discuss things and be open. Again, this is my first time being nice about it now. Please don't inbox me with that. If you have a question you want to inbox me or something you want to talk about, that's fine. But don't, please, guys, no more inboxes about me not getting your comment.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I like that paradrama.
Nice now.
I'm going to say this too, and Courtney dropped the bomb, and I'm going to follow up with a whistle bomb behind her. We're not dealing with paradrama. If you're disrespectful and you come on this show, guarantee you're going to get flushed down the toilet. If you hear that getting flushed, that means you're gone. We're not going to. Yeah, none of me nor I, any of these wonderful people that are in our chat will handle disrespect, and we will flush you. That's how it goes. This is a community, and as such, we're going to act as such. And if you think there's no repercussions, there is always repercussions, no matter what. So signing that out. Um, I'm going to say this here. Ronnie drops in there and says, with the podcast we have been on, you miss scrolling comments. Yeah, absolutely. He comes back and says, honestly, I'm paying attention to what is going on during the podcast. I'm never paying attention to the comments. Well, see, there you go. And that's the absolute reverse of different things. Lois Clark, it is learning. Observe. If they don't answer, then they are busy. Plain and simple. Courtney drops in, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Right? There you go. So now that we've nailed that out of the way, Capitan, I like that, Capitan. El Capitan.
I'm taking that, stealing that from you.
Yeah. It's all you there, dog. Let me hit here one more thing on what Ryan says, and we'll keep going. If people leave comments, they need to understand that not every comment is going to be read on air. And that's exactly right, because some things we can't read on air. If it's vulgar, if it goes against YouTube or Facebook standards, we technically cannot say it. So we will find maybe other terminology to say it, but we cannot by law say it, because this show can get banned or tic-tacked. Talked. Not happening. Woo! So really today is about you guys getting to know us. You know me from the podcast side. Some of you know me from the investigative side. And we're going to talk about that. The same thing with the Capitan. Get you to know us on a different level so you can see we know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about when we apply things, like I'm about to tell Luna to be quiet. I got a Rottweiler that's just mouthy right now. Luna! Thank you. That's a little mouthy. So, let's see what's going out there. We could be sitting there just reading comments the whole time. Exactly. And that's a lot of things that do happen. Not every comment is a question, just a statement, and doesn't require a response. The other thing is with that is sometimes the ghost dog, nope, that's our Rottweiler. Other things is just replying to other people, which we're not going to put that on there. You can see it right here on this side. There we go. Of the chat line. You can see the responses. So, with that being said, Capitan,
what's up?
What puts you as the potential credentials to do this show? What's your experiences, man? Let's talk about that. Let people know who we really are, not just who they think we are.
Well, I would say that my experiences and credentials are no better or bigger than anybody else's. But what I can say is that I feel like I'm very real. I feel like that I'm not afraid to say what's fake and what's not. But I feel like also I'm a researcher, and I feel like when a lot of the equipment I have, I know where it came from, what it was used for, and how it applies to what we do. I feel like I ask a lot of questions. I'm a very questionable investigator. You know that I'm annoying. I will call you if I have a question about something before I call it a ghost or paranormal or alien or even, so to speak. So I feel like, to say that you have the credentials to know it all, which I don't, I'm not claiming I do. So let's put that out there now. But you have to be able to ask questions to people who might know a bit more than you. And that's why I feel like us hosting this show is good, because we can bounce it back and forth. But like I said, I've been investigating for over 20 years. I've seen some things that I cannot explain. And I'm one of the people that do not call every bell and whistle or light a ghost. I'm one of those people that during an investigation, that if a bell, light, or whistle goes off, the first thing I try to do is figure out what in the atmosphere made it do that. What equipment went off? What possibly that equipment is used for could have made it go off?
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I'm qualified to do it. I've investigated with a lot of people that, if something went off, the exact same thing that equipment's used for is the reason why it went off, not paranormal. And that happens a lot in the paranormal field.
No, yeah, and I agree with you, and I had to drop that in there. Yeah, Lois says he can get the spirits in the basement to talk at Belgrove. Yes, he can. And Courtney drops in there, darn phones and two-way radios. Yeah,
I
yeah,
do that in a lot of public investigations, and thank you, Lois. I try to get the spirits to talk. I do feel like I'm a walking trigger object at a lot of plantations, but I will say that it's funny that Courtney put that in there as a joke, but at every public investigation, I try to explain to people how a lot of the equipment can work and how we can trigger this equipment to work. So when I explain to people that why your phone needs to be in airplane mode, when I see a girl over here texting on her phone, and when I see her calling people on the side, how it affects the equipment, I will take a radio and trigger a REM pod in a heartbeat and say, hey, this is why we put our phones in airplane mode. Or I'd be like, you ever watch, and my famous things, you ever watch Ghost Hunters? And I'll show the REM pod going off. I do this to show people that this is how equipment can be manipulated. So this is why we operate the way we do. I'm a very technical person when it comes to investigating.
right. And there's my brother. So, Robert, this is Sean. Sean, this is my brother Robert. He's the other half of the Frog Brothers. He said, "What the hell, dude?" Now I know, brother. Yeah. Where are you getting that from? I don't know what you're saying. I'm going to follow up on you with that, with one thing you just said. Um, when it comes to cell phones, and we're just diving in a little bit into each subject right now, and you'll see why as the future shows. This is just a debut for y'all to get to know us, and we can chit chat. Thanks for the heads up on the case. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, by the way, Kenny, yeah, Kenny, I'll talk to you about this later. I can't say that on air. Never mind. But I think you know who this is. Anyway, we'll continue. Frog brother number 2. When it comes to cell phones, yeah, there was a time that I did not believe in the cell phone use whatsoever, and I've changed my mind about that. But for a lot of people, they think that the cell phones, even when they put them on airplane mode, are not going to respond to your equipment. That's not necessarily true anymore. We've done a little bit of research on this. We've done some in-field research, and we're finding that there are certain phones that even when they're on airplane mode, will activate the K2s. Will activate Gauss meters. Will activate like even sonar equipment. So don't think that because you have a cell phone in your back pocket or you think it's 6 feet away that it's not affecting. It could affect, because one of the things we're failing to do in the field is debunk what's out there. We're too quick to jump to go paranormal, and I call bullshit.
You're right.
And that's one of the things we're going to do with this show that we're going to help you guys with. We're going to go over homes. We're going to give you HVAC and walls and building structures and beer cages, etc. We're going to help you all the way through. That's what this show is designed for. Not just equipment, but all the way through everything that partakes in a paranormal investigation. And I don't mean to interrupt you, so I want you to keep going on.
No, you're good. I'm your co-host.
No. I'm your co-host. I'm your Spock, bitch.
No, you're good. You're good. Keep going.
So let us say this too.
I do want to interrupt though for a second. The phone in airplane mode affecting a K2. I watched that happen last night. The one thing that makes us qualified is that we can have a tech talk conversation, but we're also current investigators. See, a lot of people who talk tech don't go out in the field at all. If you watch a lot of tech talk from investigators or people who claim to be investigators, we investigate. I can say as an investigator myself, I investigate at least minimum 3 times a week.
You really do.
I really do. And people say, oh, BS. No, he doesn't. No, I really do. Is it on social media? No. Do I have a lot of content and videos out of me doing it? No. But I can guarantee you that I investigate 2 to 3 times, 2 to 2 times minimum. There are weeks that get busier for me than others, but I work for myself. If you're wondering how I get to do that, I work for myself, so that's how I'm able to do it. But I go out 2 to 3 times a week investigating. I don't go to all the pay and play places, which is a conversation for another day. But I know of haunted locations, and I have access to haunted locations. I investigate and do research at a minimum of 2, the bare minimum, but usually 3 times a week. That's my passion. I try to do research, and I spend 98% of the time debunking things and trying to figure out how to make equipment go off on purpose, just to make sure that when I'm actually finding research that it's not false. So
yeah, y'all have no idea how many phone calls and emails I get.
Right. I blow Howie's phone up to say, hey, this is what happened. This is how it went off. So let me say that again so people can understand what I'm saying. I intentionally try to figure out why my equipment's going off atmospherically, my phone. I do things to make sure that when I find something that's actually paranormal, that's what it is. And last night I just watched a phone in airplane mode set off a K2 meter or Gauss meter, or we'll get into that later. But I've watched people I watched the phone in airplane. So you're not safe. If your phone is near your equipment, it can possibly set it off in airplane mode.
And some of that other equipment can set off all of our equipment. I mean, it's the other thing. People have to be aware that, it's a sensitivity to some of this equipment can turn on the other equipment, give it a false reading. You have to be aware. You got to make sure you know your placement to your location to your signal. It has to be done. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I mean, your phone's constantly working.
Right.
If you think about it, have a conversation about, I don't know, tools. Talk about chainsaws with your friend, with your phone in your pocket. Get on Facebook and look what kind of ads come up. Your phone could be off in your pocket, but look what happens when you get on, social media.
Right. Exactly.
Why does it set off equipment in airplane mode?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Do you want me to answer, or do you want to answer it?
Go for it, Capitan.
Why are you putting it all on me today?
Because it's, brah, I'm here for you.
Your phone is constantly sending off signals. It's running off radio waves. Just because you put it on airplane mode, it's still not blocking off every signal coming in and out of your phone. Your phone has battery signals in it. It still will. I watched it last night, for example, and I don't know everything on how your phone is built and operates. I didn't build a cell phone, but I will tell you there's still signals that come in and out of your phone. Even just by putting airplane mode on doesn't block every signal coming in and out of your phone. So I watched it last night when one of our team members had her cell phone in her pocket. She had her Gauss meter right in front of her, and it started beeping out of nowhere. I said, pull your hand away from your shirt. It stopped. I said, put it back. It started beeping again. That solved that answer right there. She said, well, my phone's in airplane mode. I said, yeah, but it's setting off your K2. So either way, it's, your phone in airplane mode, you're not safe. I've done it before myself. I was investigating, had in my hand near my phone, or actually my phone was more down by my side when I was looking at it, and it was going off. I pulled it away and moved it around, put it in my other hand, and I got a different reading. Put it back in my other hand, it was still spiking. That was the side my phone was on. So just because you put it in airplane mode, you're still not shutting off all the signals coming in and out of your phone. Again, your phone's, if you think about it, it's still listening to you. There's still signals that come in and out of your phone. Unless I build a phone myself, I can't tell you every signal that's coming in and out of it. But just think about it. How do you push a button that shuts down every signal coming in and out of your phone? You really believe that's happening?
Well, it also depends on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, it's based. You've got your eye to your Android. Android has constant background apps running. iPhone, you can shut them off. Two, I'm going to follow up with him and say there are apps on your phone that even though you're in airplane mode, they're still communicating. So they're still putting off and receiving a signal. And some of these can override. I think that's one of the things we're missing. They can override the airplane mode. SMS can override the airplane mode. The emergency response signal can override the silent mode. So
Yeah.
be aware of these things. These are things that you really need to know when you go to investigate. If you have an iPhone, go in the iPhone and shut them all down. Shut everything down. When you're finished with a specific app, may it be Hope, shameless plug, or it be, Necrophonics, whatever, shut it down completely before you go back to your research because it's still lingering and hovering. Droids, droids are notorious for hanging out there. So be aware that those are constantly running. That's a major thing, you guys, major thing. Before we miss it, I want to get in here on something Shayla said. Okay, I'm playing with the devil's advocate and asking this question. Okay. Full disclosure, all the teams I have investigated with, I've never witnessed this, but when you lead a group of investigations, the general public doesn't understand and sometimes says a location is not haunted and we are faking stuff. Okay, here we go. If nothing happens, how do you address these folks when they leave bad reviews and potentially cause a location to not be investigated by the public again? Bravo. Bravo. I can, Capitan, may I?
Please do.
Because paranormal activity doesn't happen 24/7. How do we address it? We allow the public to understand before we take them on the public investigation, not after, that there may and may not be activity. This is why it doesn't happen like a circus. It doesn't act on response. We need to let those people know, hey, something may not happen tonight. Don't pay attention to the TV because it's full of shit. It's set up for entertainment. We are giving you the real. So just because we don't catch anything, maybe what we as investigators on a public investigation need to remember is it's the experience of the public. A, did you take your equipment out? Did you explain your equipment to them? Two, did you explain the process and what you're doing? Three, did you explain yourself and how you investigate? Because everybody investigates different. All teams investigate different. ASPS investigates different than most teams. Hill City investigates different. Middleton investigates different. FPR different. Crop different. Twisted different. I'm putting it out there. So what we need to do is make sure we inform prior, not post, of any public investigation.
You said it. I mean, we host investigations here in Lynchburg at the cemetery. Like you said, shameless plug. If y'all interested, hit us up. Hill City Paranormal. Let us know. But our investigations before the investigation starts, I don't even claim paranormal activity. I tell them that I don't claim to see ghosts here. I can say there's things that happen here that I cannot explain. I tell them we've got an activity here that I cannot explain. I can't guarantee you that it's going to happen. Courtney says if I could pull the ghost out of a can and let him out here, I would. But
Ghost rep.
I tell them that we'll start with this little bit of equipment here because it's what we've all started with, and this is how you can use your equipment to detect activity. That's all I do, and I show them explain to them how I use it with my team, and this is how we started with it. This is how we lead to investigate with. I don't promise anything. And when we get activity, I try to guide the investigators, because some of these people may have never investigated a day in their life. And a lot of times when people come out to public investigations, it's because they've watched the TV shows, they watch YouTube, which is getting constant things happening, and that's what they want to see happen.
YouTube
And
is our damn enemy. Let's face it.
It is.
YouTube has turned into a paranormal virus.
Well, it's our friend and our enemy at the same time. And I'll say that like this. We rag on the TV shows and we rag on YouTube at the same time.
Yeah.
However, if it
We're
weren't
open, discretionable advisory assholes.
right, but if it weren't for the two of us, the field wouldn't become less taboo, and it wouldn't become more open as it is now. So it's kind of like it's good, but it's bad at the same time. It's good that it's creating more open-minded people about paranormal. It's bad because the people who are becoming open-minded about it are expecting every haunted location they go to have REM pod, lights blinking, to get possessed every time they go out in the field, to doors slamming, and not understanding that a bad, like you said earlier, HVAC system will open and close a door, shut a window, create a moaning sound in the house. So it's kind of like, and a lot of people, I'm not ragging on every TV show, because in people's opinion that there's some shows that are better, some real, some fake. However, it's opening doors in the paranormal field. That's why all these new places are opening up for us to investigate at. However, it makes it worse at the same time, because the new investigators expecting that when they come out, and if it doesn't happen, it turns them away from it. But to go back to what Shayla's saying, you definitely, if you're going to host a public, you got to put the disclaimer out there first, like you did in the beginning of your podcast. So if we happen to cuss or say something that somebody doesn't like, you saw it in the beginning of the show. We already told you that, hey, you might hear something you don't like. It's got to be the same way at the beginning of an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put the disclaimer out.
Yep. Lois said, let me put it here right quick and we'll keep going. If it is shut off completely, if the phone is shut off completely, no, you should not be getting any signal. However, define shut off. You mean power down or just shut down? If it's shut down, it's still getting signal. You're still producing. If it is powered down, no, because there's no power to be pushing those apps. So I want to put there. Mama Susan, hello, Susan. The director is in the house, and I respectfully get what Ronnie's saying, and I get that, and I see where there's a direction at that. However, again, if it's made and they leave after you said it, that's on them, not you. And if there's a disclaimer put prior to you even going to the field with your group, that's on them, not you. So
can I touch base one more time on the public thing?
Yeah.
The next thing is keep your prices at a point where if nothing happens, people don't feel like they lost necessarily if nothing happens. And that's another point that I want to bring up. We try to keep our prices fair when we host a public investigation. So our prices range from $30 to $35. They fluctuate. And sometimes Courtney will run a special for a little bit less, I believe. But if you lose $35, you're not necessarily pissed off at it. But when some of these investigations go up to $80, $90. When you lose that, now you're mad. If nothing, if you're a new investigator, now you're pissed off that something happened. And some of these places you go to, it doesn't have to be that much to go there. So if you keep your prices at a fair rate, I feel like if nothing happens, people aren't as upset about it.
That's true.
You can't guarantee anything to happen anyway. Before a new investigator, when you start overselling things and you jack your prices up to make money off of it, I'll be honest with you, our prices go towards the cemetery, preserving the history of the place. Because if you've been to the cemetery before, you see there's a lot of history and a lot of preservation there to be done. Well, I don't want to talk too much about it, but you got to see it for yourself.
Yeah. Let me drop into this real quick. Carrie Lynn drops in, have it in writing, email a waiver before the investigation so you can always refer back to the information they receive. And most do not read, which is on them. Exactly. We do that at the Cabin of 360, and here we go. So we open the doors, and we are. because I have that right. Being the promoted sponsorship of the Cabin on 360 and historic Mechanicsville Turnpike, I'm going to follow up and say, yes, it is should be in written form. Your waivers, your information should be put out there.
Yeah.
2, pricing. I cannot follow up enough on what Sean said. Your pricing will dictate, especially right now in our economic status, it's going to dictate how many come, go, and what is said.
Yeah.
A lot of people are expecting charisma. They want a show. Remember, you're putting on a show for the public. It is not a real investigation. It is to them. We are their guides. We are to guide them, teach them, and mentor them. That's what gets them involved. They make the choice when they leave. So I just wanted to put that out there and make sure the Cabin 360 is heard, promoted, shameless plug, letting everybody know it's out there.
I vouch for the cabin. I just left the cabin last night.
Yes,
5
you
o'clock
did.
in the morning. I left the cabin.
Yes. I like that. Shayla dropped in and said, appreciate it. Very true. Ronnie hits, shh. We have paid weight up there for private. Reason we have to network. And that's another good point. Work with other teams. Yeah. I mean, there's that unity. There's that unity. And I guess we're getting ready to go into that part of our discussion again with the unity part.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it. And that's one of the things I do. That's why I'm called the Hitman. There is no unity except for unity among like-minded individuals. Okay. If you can work with a group and y'all see fit, because everybody has a different opinion and thought, great. But that group is not going to work with A and B because of B's theories and how they go about doing things. There's going to be conflict and construction, egos, veins, narcissism.
And that's childish.
It is childish, but I don't. And
if you can't get along with people who have a difference of opinion, this ain't the right field for you. Because everybody in the paranormal field is going to have a difference of opinion. You and I have a difference of opinion on things, a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in our conversations that we're going to have on this show, we're going to run into a difference of opinion on things.
Yeah.
However, do you think I'm going to stop working with you because we don't agree on certain things? I mean, sometimes you're going to tell me something that you think is wrong or right, and I'm going to find out that you were right the whole time, and vice versa. That's how it works. That's how you grow. You can't grow unless you open your mind up to things.
Scientifically speaking, not everyone can work with everyone. Our chemistry does not allow us to, because there's a chemistry frequency balance between me and someone else that will not allow us to work together. No matter we can say whatever I can extend the olive branch 14 times. They don't give a crap. Vice versa. Sometimes there is just that factor. It's just that factor. And again, I say para-unity can work only in groups and like-minded individuals, not in a lump sum. I want to say this, Capitan. Ronnie says, when we lead a group, I let the people in the group do their thing. They paid money. Bingo. I'm not going to take away from it. I will assist you. Hello, where the hell? Assist you, but do your thing. Have fun with the investigation. And that's the other thing. You want to make sure it's fun. He says egos are the downfall of para-unity. And a lot of times there is. That is very true.
A lot of egos.
Yeah. Carrie Lynn, communication does not have to be confrontational. And Carrie Lynn and I just talked about this. That's so very true. It does not have to be confrontational. You can walk away. Oh my God. Did you hear what I just said? We can walk away. We have power.
Just turn around. Go.
Turn around. Have a little time. Sorry.
Next time we go to karaoke, you're singing that song.
No, I'm not. Y'all don't understand our private lives. We have other lives other than paranormal, and this son of a bitch got me on a stage to sing. Of course, it's only because it took, 6 on the beaches? 5? 4?
You killed it, though.
Yeah, I don't know about
You
that
got a
one.
standing ovation.
Yeah, from you four, because y'all were like, he did it. He actually did it.
I thought you sounded good.
And that's one of the other things that you guys have to know. There's friendship outside of the paranormal, and he and I are brothers. We run not just paranormal. We run outside. We go to clubs. We go to dinner. We socialize. We know other people do this. Look at the Boo Crew that was created for the longest time. They do it. Crop and ASPS do it. Other groups will mix and mingle. It's okay. Don't judge somebody by their friends or individuals, because then spotlight goes on you. Remember that. Remember that. Oh, Robert says, I'm just a ghoul, dude, I guess. Yeah, Frog Brother. He's number one. I'm number two. He's Corey Feldman and I'm Haynes. Ronnie said, number one, there are no experts, but there are people who think they are experts. And then I agree with you. I really do. That's why I don't get out there. I don't do a lot of events. I talk on my show. You come to my show, that's on you. You're making that choice. But I know what I'm talking about. But am I going to ever call myself an expert? Hell to the no. Am I
I've
saying
seen that a lot.
no? Yeah, it's true.
And certain meetings I've been to,
Oh my God, it sounds like Amway.
I've seen that. I think Ronnie knows what I'm talking about. I sit back in certain paranormal meetings I've been to, and I'm just looking around, I'm listening, and I'm like, experts, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I need to learn from these guys.
I don't know how to handle that one. There's a lot of people out there that got the
Drag
claim.
down the one.
Yeah, well, the thing. Yeah, okay. Well, that's supportive. Thank you, sir. I don't know about that, but thank you. Let me see that. Ronnie does say, and he hits up with, we do it with a lot of other paranormal teams, and that's true. There you go. Carrie drops in and says, "Hey, Robert."
Ronnie.
Certain meanings. I know what you're talking about. It's true. Rebel cells. Yeah, you bastard. And it is true. We have to understand that these people are getting paid to be on TV, but we got to remember who made them. Who made them? Who supports them? Those who watch the program, those who follow them. So who's creating the monster?
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say about that, because I don't have a thing about talking about YouTubers and TV individuals. I don't have time for that anymore. That's entertainment side. And you know what? Good for them. The reason why they've got these. Okay, I guess I am going to go down that rabbit hole a little bit. Capitan, may I?
You have the floor, sir.
All right. Well, the reason why they can run around, the reason why they have all this expensive equipment, the reason why they have these black vans and SUVs, the reason they give all these is because they're backed up, jacked up, and supported by networks and other corporate individuals that have given them money to do so. I tell you what, and Sean, back me up on this one if you'd like, Capitan. If you give me $1 million, I'm going to put out equipment that you have never seen before. I promise you that. But I don't have the economic backing. I will support people like, shameless plug, Boo's Paranormal Equipment. I will support local people. I will support Sean, because it's a community. If I had the money, I'd do it too.
Well,
But
that's my problem, though. I don't mean to cut you off, and I'll shut up.
You're fine.
With that, but you hit on something right there. You said, and I do, Ronnie. But my thing is, millions of dollars go into equipment. Why isn't it going to advanced equipment or advancing equipment? You just, you hit on that just now. Why is it going to the same few devices used on every single show across the platform? Why isn't it going to better things such as the ones that we've been discussing?
Why isn't that money going to better things? Because they're processing, they're getting more money because to get money, you have to put money out. Why aren't they going to development in the name of paranormal for child care, for child support, for child development, for training, for teaching, for learning, to help people understand? Because that is rotation into the back pocket.
Right.
It shows self centeredness, vain, and a lack of integrity on their behalf. I said it.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap.
Oh,
I
yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Which reminds me, Sean, buy your equipment from individual makers of different and cheaper gear. Quality is much better. Support Boost Paranormal. Support Boost Paranormal. That is one of the individuals who bring you this very show today. The best equipment for the best price for the right individual. Check out Boost Paranormal today.
And I'll put that plug in there. I do support Boost Paranormal. I talked to Ronnie, Ron. I keep Ron. There's a lot of Rons. Ronnie, Ron. I talked to Ron this morning about a specific piece of equipment. I don't know if we're going to talk about it yet on the show, so I'm not going to mention it.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it now.
RW1. I used it over the weekend. Had a lot of questions about things that happened with it. I called him. He answered the phone and completely had a probably an hour-long discussion or so about things that happened with it over the weekend. And it's a piece of equipment that's not even out there yet, really. A couple videos have been out, a couple conversations have been out. And so trust me, I support. I'd say over half of my equipment came from independent equipment makers and stuff that if you ask me where I got it from, some of it I couldn't even tell you because I've seen it from people on Facebook who made it or Etsy. And I was like, I wonder if that would work. Let me try it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of my equipment is not from a major company. Some of it came from a major, but most of it's not.
Yeah.
A lot of it's stuff you get at Home Depot or somewhere. So,
right?
Yeah.
DIY.
Yeah.
I think this is a great opportunity to wrap up the show with when, where, and how the equipment, because that is what this show is about. That's what we're going to deliver to you guys, not just history, not just theory, but when, where, and how of a piece of equipment. Okay, let us tell you this. You don't have to go online. You don't have to go to certain manufacturers of equipment with a name brand on it to buy it, because a lot of times what you're buying is the name. Just like any main, yeah, you like that. I'm doing it good, aren't I? I'm going there. I don't give a shit. You don't need to pay good equipment for a high price because you're paying for a name. Yet it be something that has to do with ghost or has to do with spirit. Why does it have to have a name? Okay. You need to shop as a real, true investigator or researcher. If you've moved out of the whole spectrum of, did you like that? The lights went out. The whole spectrum of ghost hunting. You don't have to buy because of the price name. There's a lot of great equipment out there that you can get that's at a great price, not just from the individuals we spoke to, but you can go, and that's right, I'm going to go there. You can go to Temu. You can get great equipment for its price from Temu. You can go to Amazon, get great prices through Amazon for the product. Look, do your excuse me, do your shopping. Shop around. Take your time. Get to know what you're dealing with, and then you can compare those products to one another. Why does a static, let's say, why does a static REM pod more expensive from one when it comes from another company? Name brand, what's the quality? Look at it. talk to people, get out there, communication. Um, Courtney, if I want to go out and investigate like they do on the shows, and I have no money, what can I take or what can I take to help me identify paranormal activity? Okay. What can we take? Courtney also drops in there and goes, I may have missed if y'all answered this. I have a lag. um, excellent. I ordered the Timu, and then Timu's perfectly fine. Let's go back to that real quick. What can you take? I didn't really want to get into that this show, but let's do it. We've got 4 minutes left. Sean, my brother, my capitan, what is my go-to piece of equipment?
Your go-to is a compass.
Bam! Say it again.
The compass.
Damn right.
I've got 2 of them in mind. Actually, I got an antique compass from a antique store.
Yeah.
Like a Navy compass.
See? And you can go to any of these social media or to social sites that you can buy, and you can get a compass for $2, $1. Why? Because it deals with natural forces on this planet. And if it's natural and it's truly affecting, it's going to affect the compass before it affects anything else. I have 5 that I roll with. I have 2 in my pocket. I carry 1 on my wrist and a pocket watch one. I'm loaded with compasses. This is the first thing my father taught me. If it doesn't affect the compass, then maybe you ain't getting what you think you are. And this is coming from a military intelligence officer. That's my go-to. I like ambient, true equipment before I go to electronics. Do I carry electronics? Sure I do. We all do. We're para researchers. But I will carry a Galileo thermostat and a temperature and a heartbeat. I'll carry it in a glass. Well, it's a glass tube. I'll carry it in a very secure case, but I'll come in out. I'll drop it on the floor in a heartbeat because it's going to be a much accurate piece of equipment over anything else because it's ambient natural. I know she was going with this. I know she was trying to get me with something to say this too, and I'm going to say it. What is it that we know about the paranormal? I'm going to say it. I don't give it 2 damns. We do not know shit about the paranormal. You could paraphrase me all you want. We do not know anything about the paranormal.
Nothing.
We thought we did, but we don't. We don't know EMF is a legit hypothesis of what really is. We don't know if they really affect lights. We assume they do. We're theorizing it. We're taking it out. We're seeing it, but we don't know. We don't know. Endless amount of possibilities. We don't know how many different types of spirits and entities and ghosts there are. We don't know.
And
We don't know. Right. We don't know difference what the hauntings are. Look at the word. Oh man, my brain just went. Blah, 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 blah. We use a lot of words in the wrong way. Hence, poltergeist. Poltergeist is a German word for ghost. But in Western society, we've accepted it as an entity that can manipulate items and electricity and move things. Why did it change? Same thing with jinns. Same thing with demons. We don't know. We don't know. But we want to know. That's why we're doing what we're doing. What does a compass do and how does it work on paranormal? Okay, great questions. A compass works now. Okay, we're going to go over just a second. A compass works based on the north and south poles. They react to the electromagnetic forces of the planet. Now, good Lord, I'm going out. It's kidding. I'm outside. I love being outside right now. So if something affects the magnetic field, it's going to make that compass move. It's going to even slight or on a massive scale. Now, knowing your earth science It's not just one North and South Pole. There's 11 fields that run around the Earth. They move at 2 miles per every 11 years. So not only do we have to deal with North and South Pole, we have to deal with ley lines, and we have to deal with these moving oral fields. They all affect compasses. That's why we suggest using the compass. Yes. And you're welcome.
So in a nutshell, that needle should not move if you're sitting still in a location unless something moves it.
Exactly.
Without the technical talk, it shouldn't move. If you're sitting still and the compass is perfectly still, that needle should not move anywhere unless there's something else that's able to move it or pull that needle in a direction.
Exactly. Exactly. Ronnie says it takes multiple things to come up with a theory of something paranormal. Absolutely. I agree with that comment. Not just one piece of equipment. Absolutely.
We've always rolled the trifecta statement, and that's if it's one piece of equipment. If it's more than one, then that's going to raise our eyebrow. That's why we never set just one piece of equipment up in a location or a spot in a location.
Exactly right. I like what Kenny just put out there. Says Darth Vader means dark father. And see, these are terminologies, what we were just talking about. Absolutely. Lois says, like dowsing rods. Yeah, dowsing rods work on the same premise. Exactly right. And that's why we use it. We're going to talk about divination tools. We're going to talk about modern technology and tools. We're going to talk about past, present, and future in the show. We're going to deliver that to you. I'm going to let the man give you it. And when he comes to me, I will support it. I will tell you how it works, what it works. But this man knows equipment. I love working with him, how he can explain things to me. And wait, y'all. You have no idea. This man knows cat balls like the back of his hand. I cannot wait for that show. But that's what you're going to get from us here. We're getting ready to roll out. We're getting ready to end this episode, if you will. But allow me to say the show was brought to you today by Boo's Paranormal Equipment. The right equipment for the right price for the right person. The Cabin on 360 in the historic Mechanicsville Turnpike. Preserve your history through the paranormal. And Ghosts of Stanton, Virginia. Check out Ghosts of Stanton. If you're ever in the Appalachian Shenandoah Valley area, check them out. There's an amazing tour with so many things. Get your tickets. Go check out Desjardins or Desjardins. Go check out Western State. Go check out the town itself. Find the history. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And on that one, Capitan, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you.
Thanks for having me.
Was like, no, not having you. We are as one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you ready, Captain?
I'm ready to take off.
We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for staying tuned. Appreciate it. We will see you very soon. Virtue be yours.